David.
We'll just talk. We got two guys here.
Who knows? I may run.
Okay, let's be nice. So, what happened here? What just happened? NB Power has been cancelled. So, what's going to happen with the Liberal Party?
With the Liberal Party?
Yeah.
Oh, I think there's lots of time to rebuild. The Liberal Party has been around a long time, and it's going to be around for a long time. So, you're not going to see it collapse and fold by any means.
What is the Green Party going to bitch about? You know,
this wasn't the foundation of the Green Party has nothing to do with the position on MB Power. That happened after we were formed. We have to take on the issues of the day, but the Green Party's not about the next election. It's about the next generation. It's about sort of sitting down and doing the right thing and saying, let's stop worrying about whether we're going to get elected or not, and stand up for some issues like media reform. That's a big one.
Hey, I love that one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Absolutely. We're the only party out on a limb on that one. We had a debate on it on CBC, and we had an empty chair from the Liberal Party.
Listen, that sounds good to me. Why don't you just cross the floor and join the Green Party?
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing is the Liberal Party's not dead. You know what I mean?
They're not.
Just because, you know, we went into a heavy negotiations here, and the Premier led the parade. And if Quebec backed off the deal,
is it Quebec? Is it Quebec?
Quebec backed off the deal.
Why?
Well,
so you're saying the people's democracy, the people rising up, had nothing to do with this?
I would say definitely not. At this point, what the Premier has said this morning in caucus, and basically he said it very openly, that they had a deal. The deal that when Quebec looked at the cost of what it's going to cost them for MacDougall and the other costs of LaPro in 5 years, then they had the the Quebec people just backed off the deal, and,
really?
I believe that.
So it's not because they listen to people.
No,
you Liberals don't listen to people, but
well, I think they listen to the people. There's no question about listening to people, but I think definitely, I believe Sean Graham to the utmost, and I feel quite strongly what he said this morning, that the deal out of Quebec, they backed off it because they couldn't afford it. Everybody knows that over a month ago, David Allward brought to the House about an independent person going to looking at the MacDougall Dam. You're talking big bucks to fix that, and they're not in a position to take on that headache, as I would say. LaPro is another thing. In 5 years, the piece that they dropped into the harbor, if it was a longshoreman handling, it wouldn't have happened. But anyway,
it was Irving, huh? Yeah.
That's another situation. That's a 5-year. That's also a shutdown for another 3 to 5 months. The cost of the province, they didn't want to burden that province. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, go ahead, Jack.
Abel, is it your view that the public controversy had nothing to do with this decision?
I firmly believe that. You know, and I'm going to be very open with you. When I look back at the leaders, guys like Tom Mann, Michelle Boudreau, these guys definitely couldn't lead a parade. Now, back in 1992, Jock, you were around, I was around. Bobby Davison, it took him 1 year to organize the amount of people that he brought to Fredericton against Frank McKenna. And it was over 6,000 people. And when people can exaggerate the numbers from 1,000 to 1,200, it's just unbelievable as far as I'm concerned. So the people of the province of New Brunswick, I've looked at some of the petitions. There's duplicated names on them. In St. John, I looked at the ones that they presented from St. John. There's not one name on there that I didn't know from St. John. So I think a lot of it is what the Tories were forecasting.
Is the caucus behind the Premier?
Yeah, definitely the caucus is behind the Premier. They've been behind him right along in this. And I think the Premier was humbled today when he stated that the fact that the deal. He was adamant that this was a good deal, and no doubt in my mind it was a good deal for the province of New Brunswick. But what actually took place is that Quebec backed off the deal because they couldn't take that kind of a risk.
Well, what was the mood in caucus?
The mood in caucus was very quiet and very solemn. But, you know, they pretty well, I spoke up, they all spoke up to the extent that, you know, they supported Jack Heer and the Premier.
How's Jack Heer taking all this?
Jack feels pretty down and bad about it because he worked hard on it. And if anybody worked hard on it was Jack Heer, and the abuse that Jack Heer took over the period of time was just unbelievable and really unacceptable.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Abel.
Okay, not a problem.